right, everybody, welcome back to the Move podcast. Talking about the third and final week of the Tour of Spain, which is, we get asked all the time about Americans in Grand Tours. Well, here's an answer. Congratulations to Sepp Kuss winning the Tour of Spain. We're going to break all of that down. I'm Lance Armstrong, not in Austin, JB. I'm back in Aspen. Had a rough few days with 12 of my buddies playing golf. We don't need to talk about that. Anyways, JB over there in Austin. Johan, I don't know. Looks like he's in Madrid. How you doing, Johan?
I'm in Madrid, yeah.
And George Hincapie, that Johan just accused of having slow energy.
Johan, did you go to the finish today?
No.
You were too busy prepping the show.
No, but it's the same. You can't get anywhere. It's the Castellano.
Yeah. Little bit of business before we jump in. Today's show presented to you by Zwift. That's right. They're back. Indoor cycling season is just around the corner, and Zwift has been busy over the summer, and there's never been a better time to get started riding indoors. Zwift's Smart Trainer, the Zwift Hub, is now is a better value than ever. For only $599, not only do you get a Smart Trainer with a pre-installed cassette of your choice, for also a no-fuss setup, and in 1 year of Zwift, but you can also get free shipping throughout September when you enter the code ZWIFTHUB at checkout. There's more to do on Zwift than ever before, including the return of We Do Wednesdays and Suffer Sundays, slated to start October 1st. Head on over to Zwift.com and grab your Zwift Hub. Don't forget that code ZWIFTHUB for free shipping. Also today brought to you by OneSkin. George?
Love it.
Extra layer of OneSkin. Here's the deal. Are you tired of cycling through endless amount of trending skincare products that all claim to smooth wrinkles, firm skin, and give you a youthful glow that actually don't deliver real results at the end of the bottle? Well, support for today's episode comes from OneSkin, founded by a team of 4 female PhD longevity scientists with over 15 years of experience studying the biology of aging. Here's the key. They discovered OS1. OS1 is a peptide that's scientifically proven to target aged, also senescent cells, the main source of skin aging, and actually reduces the biological age by several years. For a limited time offer, our listeners get 15% off OneSkin with our code THEMOVE. All you can do is head on over to oneskin.co, not .com, oneskin.co. Use the code THEMOVE. Also today brought to you by HVMN. We hear that fasting and exercise are good for the brain. HVMN launched the world's first drinkable ketone in 2017. Ketone IQ is their latest innovations on ketones with better effectiveness, taste, and cost. Ketone IQ delivers clean fuel that can actually cross the blood-brain barrier, supplying your brain and body sustained energy, mental focus, and sharpness. Also, Ketone IQ is now available at all Sprouts throughout the United States. You can save 30% off your first subscription order of Ketone IQ at hvmn.com/themove. Again, that's hvmn.com/themove. All right, let's talk about Sepp. I think this is amazing. Right here, it's obviously, we touched on, it's so great for American cycling. Here's a kid that I don't think any of us have really ever met or been around or ridden with, but just seems like such a good kid, and he's just such a team guy. So that stands out for me. But for one team to win all 3 Grand Tours in one season is just, well, I think you said it in the pre-show, Johan. Never been done. We're seeing stuff in cycling. We always joke internally, like we don't even know cycling anymore because we're just, to think that one team wins all 3 Grand Tours and gets first, second, and third in this one. Wow.
And Sepp Kuss did them all, which everyone knows that by now, but it's still.
Yeah. The Iron Man. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I think this picture behind, says it all, the pink jersey of the Giro, the yellow jersey of the Tour, the red jersey of the Vuelta. And their slogan has been always salmon winning together. And, we've talked about it and speculated during this Vuelta, what was going on internally. But at the end, we have to say we probably speculated a little bit too much. And Salmon winning is never more true than this time. They what they did is amazing, and this is definitely the team of reference right now. It's the best team in the world. What Sky was back in the days is now Jumbo-Visma. I think if you would right now ask any young rider, which team would you like to go to, would you dream of going to, that's the team they want to go to.
Yeah, I think they also have, not only obviously their season was amazing, but they must have all these other super power teams like the Ineoses, the UAEs, just scratching their head going, how do we beat this monster of a team? I mean, they have similar budgets, I'm assuming. So it's not a question of budgets in terms of those top 3 or 4 teams, but these guys really got to go back to the drawing board and figure out how in the world are they going to actually compete with these guys in the major Grand Prix, the 3 Grand Tours.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there was already, right, you just mentioned the 3 teams, George. So Jumbo-Visma, UAE, and Ineos, they were already, in my view, just really leagues above almost any other team. So then you have a lot of other teams that just they just don't have the sophistication. But now you just have another single team that's just in the stratosphere. So yes, to your point, like these two other super teams are going, geez, that happened, and it happened. It feels like it happened fast. I mean, it was all in this season.
Yeah, I mean, and especially
they have to be scratching their heads.
If you look at Ineos, man, I mean, Ineos this year with that, I mean, George, they do not have similar budgets. Ineos has the biggest budget by far. And if I say by far, I'm saying probably 10 million more at least than the second team. And so if you look at them, they were so successful during 7, 8, 9 years. And now, I mean, in this Vuelta, for example, this Vuelta is probably not a good example, but they were nowhere. They did have a lot of bad luck, yes. But they were also, in the Tour, they were not, not close. And in the Giro, I would have, they got second in the Giro with Geraint Thomas. But yeah, I mean, it's they obviously know what they're doing, Jumbo-Visma. It is the cool, calculated approach of the Dutch. They have everything under control. They have everything figured out. They try to hire the best people in every single sector of the sport. And I mean, the result is there. It's,
Johan, here's a question, because I'm genuinely curious and I just don't know. I mean, who, and we all know this. Everybody on the show knows this. There has to be who is if we could point to one person that's, and it's not sort of the Brailsford of the Sky days, but I don't know if it's Richard Pluk, but there has to be somebody that is creating or making decisions, creating a direction. It's somebody that's I don't know who it is, but it sure as hell seems like there's some kind of savant.
Yeah, it's a guy called Marijn Zeeman. Marijn Zeeman he's the head sports manager, and he's basically in charge of all the people that are on the performance side. And obviously Richard Plug is the general manager. He hires the right people and makes good decisions. There's nothing to say against that. But if you look at the Vuelta, and you see the podium 1, 2, 3, Sepp Kuss, Vingegaard, and Roglic, and we said in other shows, if these are, I mean, Roglic and Vingegaard are 2 of the 3 best stage races in the world. And the third one is not here, it's Pogačar. So it's kind of logical that they have 2 guys on the podium. We said that before. I think the surprise here is Sepp Kuss, right? That nobody counted with his presence on the podium, let alone winning this. But I think it's quite amazing that finally, after all the doubts and the controversy and the pressure on social media and the criticism, that these guys could pull it together, and that both Jonas and Primoz basically brought Sepp Kuss to Madrid. Having said that, I think it's very, very important to notice that Sepp Kuss, a part of losing time on Jonas and on Primoz in those stages, in the time trial and in those stages where Primoz attacked and Jonas attacked, he has not lost any second on any other rider of the whole Vuelta. So, there's been a lot of talks. Yeah, they gave him, they didn't gift him anything. He deserved this, and he won this jersey by being in the break, by doing an amazing time trial. For the first time in his career, he went full gas, and he lost very, very little time in the time trial. And and then he was on the strongest team. So hey, amazing for him. And I'm actually curious to see what's going on in his mind now. Something tells me that he wants to go back to his usual role. I read a quote from him that he says, winners have cold blood and can make decisions putting aside their emotions, and he's not like that. So I think he also felt a bit uncomfortable in that.
But just by the way, I have no idea what he's talking about. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, that was my burning question: is what is next for Sepp Kuss? Because everybody wants, it's never enough, right? He wins once, people want it again and again and again. That's just how the public works, right? More and more and more. Well, but I think you may be right, Johan.
If you believe that quote, I think there's your answer, JB.
And also, JB, one thing has to be said, and with the utmost respect for Sepp Kuss, but we have to say, if Sepp Kuss would have been the leader of another team, most likely he would not have won this Vuelta. Correct. He won this Vuelta thanks to being on Team Jumbo-Visma. So
agreed. And you saw him when he was crossing the finish line on the stages like Angry Lou and Tourmalet, and when Jonas won, he came across with a smile on his face and high-fiving his teammates, where the rest of the world, or at least a lot of us, the majority of us, are like, what in the hell is going on? How are you dropping your team leader that has done so much for you throughout the whole year, several years for that matter? But he would come across with a smile on his face, happy to be there and happy to fight for another day in the red jersey. So you can just see it's a different sort of mentality. And I think he was just taking it day by day, enjoying the moment. And now who knows what's next for Sepp Kuss, but he is definitely, has had an amazing run there in the month of September at the Vuelta.
He doesn't get to attack ever again.
Yeah, they like that, where they let him go in a breakaway like that. Yeah. Probably never happen again. So yeah, he took a big advantage of that.
Well, Johan, how many years does he have left on this current contract with Jumbo-Visma?
I don't know, but I don't think it really matters. I think he's happy where he is. Also, probably, we've had a discussion about that in another podcast here on the Move. There was a lot of debate about bonuses, right, in the contracts, and why these two other leaders were kind of having some doubts, Roglic more than Jonas, and I said, you know what, probably Vingegaard and Roglic, they probably do not have a bonus in their contract to win the Vuelta, because their base salary is already of such that they are supposed to win the Vuelta for that kind of salary. Whereas Sepp Kuss, when he has signed his contract and his agent did a good job, he will probably have a bonus for winning a Grand Tour. Even if it's for a rider like that, sometimes unthinkable to win a Grand Tour, but some people put it in there just in case, So obviously he's gonna get a big bonus, and probably, most likely he's gonna have a lot better contract next year. And Jumbo-Visma, they're not stupid. They want to keep him on board. They know how valuable he is. So.
And for the record, he just had his 29th birthday this past week during this Grand Tour. So he's got years left.
And just a quick look at procyclingstats.com. Looks like he's with Jumbo-Visma through next season, through 2024.
Yeah,
I think they do a pretty good job. It's pretty accurate. I've noticed.
Yeah.
What's it going to be like for him personally? Lance, your take on that would probably be best. Like, what's it going to be for him personally coming back to the States off season as a Grand Tour champion?
If again, I don't know the kid, but if you just watch his demeanor and you read some of his quotes, I would say it's probably pretty uneventful. And that's kind of cool. It's like, I remember, watching the NBA this year and the Denver Nuggets win the NBA Finals, and you had Nikola Jokic, who just wanted to leave. He just wanted to go back to Serbia, Croatia, wherever the hell he's from, and race his horses. Like, he was just like, he doesn't have social media, doesn't, I don't know about Sepp Kuss, but he just wanted to go home and chill with his homies and his horses. I mean, I don't know if Sepp Kuss, what he's into, but I have a feeling he's probably really happy, and he should be very proud of himself. But I think the guy's just like, all right, well, cool.
Move on.
Yeah, and let's not discount the fact that it's third Grand Tour of the season, and the amount of people screaming in your ear every day, the press that's around every day, and then add on leading the Vuelta for the last 2 weeks. I mean, just the mental stress he's gone through. Most people would be like, I just need to check out for a little bit, and I'm sure he'd be happy to just go home, spend some time with his family, recover, and really get to reflect on what an amazing season he's had.
Yeah, this is completely new for him, new experience for him. But as a matter of fact, I think, Sepp Kuss, I've read this somewhere, that he's actually more popular in Spain than in the US. I think he's married or engaged to a Spanish woman, I think. Speaks really, really good Spanish, Like,
wow.
His interviews in Spanish were impeccable. And so, the Spanish media and the Spanish crowd also really wanted Sepp Kuss to win. He's super, super, super popular and very well liked here. So yeah, I mean, I think it's probably going to be a lot better for him now. I think he lives in Andorra.
He does.
So, probably that community is going to, receive him really special. And then in the States, I don't know. I mean, obviously there's going to be some kind of recognition. Where is he from? From Durango, right?
Durango, yes.
Yeah. But it's not the Tour de France, right? But it's a huge achievement.
But by the way, Durango's not a very big town, but it's cycling mad. A lot of mountain bike history there. A lot of mountain bike legends still live there. Ned Overin, Travis Brown. It is a cycling community. So that little town in Colorado was definitely paying attention. When we come out of this little commercial break, Johan, let's pull up that was just, you found it somewhere on Twitter, but the Jumbo-Visma's goals going into the season. Like, if you would have showed us, and I'll just tease it here, but if you would have showed me those goals before the season, I said, put the bottle down. There's no way. But we'll get to that here in a second. Our next partner today is AG1, the daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it literally every day. I take it on the road. I'm on the road right now. I have my travel packs with me. I start every single day with AG1. I was sick and tired of taking so many supplements and wanted a single solution that supports my entire body and covers my nutritional basis every day. I wanted better gut health, a boost in energy, immune system support, and I wanted a supplement that actually tastes great. By the way, all for less than $3 a day. Think about that. Take control of your health, make a serious difference in your own health journey for less than $3 a day. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs. Head on over to drinkag1.com/themove. One more time, that's drinkag1.com/themove. Also today, and last one of the day, show also brought to you by 8 Sleep. This is one of the coolest things, and I got full support from my wife. We get sent all kinds of stuff. She's like, you got another package. Well, this 8 Sleep came in the mail. We put it on our mattress, and my wife has never been happier that we're in the podcast game. She was like, all right, this is by far the coolest thing that anybody has ever sent you, especially, being back in Austin, being, 100-degree temps. Having the pod cover by 8 Sleep keeps us cool all night. By the way, it'll go down all the way down to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Think about that. And then the folks that I've turned on to it, it's just amazing to see their response. They're like, wow, okay, this was a game changer. By the way, it fits any bed, just like a fitted sheet. The pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting the temperature on each side of the bed. That's right. Not just your side, but the other side as well. I love it. And the UX, right, as all the smart kids know, is the user experience. I mean, it is incredible the way the app is so easy to function and work. It's incredible. So head on over to 8sleep.com/themove. That saves you $150 on the pod cover. Again, that's 8. You got to spell this out. That's not a number. 8sleep.com/themove. Now shipping within USA, Canada, the UK, select countries in the EU, and down under in Australia. 8sleep.com/themove. All right, let's pull this up. So let's just say these guys are sitting around in December, whenever going, let's, as every team should, let's make some goals for next year. This is what Jumbo-Visma's goals were for the 2023 season. Right, team goals 2023. Number 1, win the Tour de France. I mean, by the way, that's just enough. That's really all you need to say. Number 2, win Flanders or Paris-Roubaix. Number 3, win the Giro. Number 4, win the Vuelta. Number 5, Olav wins more than 10 races. And then he goes on to say, if we achieve these goals, then we will win the World Tour team ranking. I mean, the fact that you had the stones to lay out those goals and actually do every single one of them except for one. Hey, chapeau, man. That's
absolutely.
That is incredible.
Knowing what you want and knowing what's your value and what the quality of the riders is. And it's incredible. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would have to check the World Tour team ranking, but yeah, I guess after the Vuelta, there's no question. There's no question that I think it was a tight race between them and UAE before the Vuelta, but now I think it's after the Vuelta.
This will be fun, and I hate to put you on the spot, Johan, but you always come through. Compare this to your best overall season as a director. What year was that, and what did you accomplish in comparison?
It's not that far
2005.
off. It's
2005.
It's not that far off. We had, several years. Once we won the Tour and the Giro, and a bunch of other races. Then another year we won the Tour and the Vuelta, and a bunch of other races, important races. And then another year we won the Giro and the Vuelta, and a bunch of other races. So we never won the 3 of them, but I mean, this is unique, this is way better. It looks all a lot more structured and planned also. We've never, we always focused around the Tour, and then the Giro and the Vuelta were like an annex, right? It's like an addition, but we didn't really focus and plan on it from the beginning of the season. This looks like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're ready for it. Let's just execute the plan.
No, we're not even talking about, we're talking about the Vuelta right now, but Van Aert wins the Tour of Britain. Coy wins 4 or 5 stages. I mean, they pretty much dominated the Tour of Britain just as much as they dominated the Vuelta, a whole separate team. And if we talk about individual rankings, I mean, they probably have 4 or 5 guys in the first 10, 15 guys of the whole Pro Tour peloton. I mean, the dominance of this team is, I think, unlike anything we've ever seen.
And they're getting stronger, and they're getting stronger for next year. For example, they have, Matteo Jorgensen goes there. That's going to be a very strong addition to their classics team and Grand Tour team. And there's one other rider I keep forgetting who it is, but a really strong rider who goes there also. And but listen, if they keep who they have right now, it must be incredibly frustrating for these other teams. Like, imagine these other teams and seeing this lineup for the Vuelta in Barcelona, and they say, what's going on here? What are we here for? The other teams, right?
Yeah.
What grade would you guys give Remco Evenepoel? Obviously, he came to win the Vuelta, repeat from last year. Tougher field to deal with, but he salvaged a lot of things. He got some stage wins. He was aggressive, even in that breakaway today. Was wild. And you were critical back and forth on him for different reasons, Johan. So, but how would you give him? What would it be his final grade for this Vuelta?
I mean, I think it's obviously not what they came for. So he's not going to be satisfied, and and he has that mindset that he for sure he's not super happy, but I think after that bad day, he made the most of it, whatever was possible. Every single time, he won 2 more stages today. Today he got close again, actually, on the Castellana, which was incredible. Plus, he won the Mountains jersey, most aggressive rider of the Vuelta. I personally, there's only one thing that I would have liked to see different is that he didn't focus on going in those breakaways to win a stage, but he should have focused on, in my opinion, right, on the Angliru and race, because he knew that stage was going to be fought out between the big guys. That stage he should have stayed with, the leaders and try to win that stage actually, and say, hey, look, I had a bad day, but this is what I can do. That would be actually the best possible outcome with having that bad day into account. But it's, he does. I mean, he's an amazing rider. He just, he hasn't performed in this Tour of Spain continuously. But he won the Tour of Spain last year. I think it's a bit early to say he's not a Grand Tour rider. He did a few, and he already won one at 23 years old. And, at 23 years old, he has won 50 professional races already.
Yeah.
That's quite, that's quite special.
Well, there's one thing that can happen, and I'd have to go back and think about that Vuelta that he did win. But to win Grand Tours, you can't have one bad day, right?
It's true. Yeah.
One, you just, and we've seen it over the course of time. Like, there are guys that have so much potential, but they have that one bad day.
Mm-hmm.
But no, look, the kid is, and as we said last week, I mean, the entire country is riding is just right on his wheel, drafting, and they want the next Merckx, and that can't be easy. But
yeah, well, I've been
50 races in a very young career. I mean, that's
just a little
that already gets you in the Hall of Fame.
Little inside note, so Remco listens to our podcasts, and so he has reached out to me, when I was really critical to him, and we had a conversation. So, he's obviously a guy who has a temperament, but I think, he didn't explicitly say that in these words, but he does recognize that they need to go back to the drawing board and do certain things differently. I think this year, if you look at his season, he's been on a high level for too long. His focus was the Giro. First, he did the classics. Big goal was Liège-Bastogne-Liège, which he won. Then the Giro, he was in the lead. He abandoned with COVID. Then he did the Belgian Championships, which he won. Then he did the Tour of Switzerland, in my opinion, without respecting the necessary recovery after the COVID. And then he went straight on, to win San Sebastian, then the World Championships, road race and time trial, and then the Vuelta. It's been a long time since he's been on a high level, and they've also recognized within the team that they probably need to look at the calendar. But it is really, really hard to schedule an ambitious guy like this. I mean, look at Pogačar. Pogačar absolutely wanted to be on the top level from the very beginning. He wanted to win the Tour of Flanders, which he did. And then he paid, in my opinion, and then he had the crash in Liège-Bastogne-Liège, which was the biggest problem, of course, but was not 100% in the Tour. Still finished second, though. So I think it's not easy to accommodate these kind of big talents, who are so ambitious.
Well, not only that, now these other guys are seeing the dominance Jumbo's displayed over these last 3 Grand Tours, and they're going to start thinking, well, we might not be able to focus on these other races, these other mini goals that we have throughout the season as serious as we have in the past, because otherwise we have no shot against them. The team is so strong that they're really going to have to put all their eggs into that one basket, the Tour de France or the Grand Tour, for them to be able to be competitive against the monster of Jumbo-Visma.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we should finish the show, guys, with, since today was also, let's not forget, Kaden Groves won his third stage win from a breakaway. It looked like a bunch sprint, but from a breakaway with Filippo Ganna, with Evenepoel, with Lennart Kemna, with Rui Costa. Out of the 6 riders, there were 5 stage winners. Him winning the green jersey, I think is also very, very special. And also his team, Alpecin, winning the green jersey in the Tour and in the Vuelta. That's also special accomplishment.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a little trivia, but JB, before you get to the trivia, just one thing to note: 3/4 of this crew is going to be in Mallorca. In about a week.
In a week.
In a week. So we'll all be there together. We're going to Johan, who's we get a lot of questions about Johan. He's doing fantastic. He's going to be there with us, and we're going to do a fun little show with the four of us, me, Johan, George, and Jan. Probably a thing or two to talk about. I don't know.
And Dia from Ventum will be there. That's when he's actually going to draw the winner. We'll announce the winner of the GS1 on that show. But this is your last chance to enter to win that Ventum GS1. On midweek, we did a question, and just to give you the answer for it, it was, what is the name of George's hotel and where is it located? The answer is Hotel Domestique in Travelers Rest, South Carolina. Beautiful place if you've never been. Today's question and the last one, again, for your chance to win a brand new GS1. Between Lance, George, and Johan, who had the best overall GC placing at the Vuelta during their racing career? Who placed the highest in the Vuelta?
That'd be easy.
Lance, George, or Johan? Send it in to trivia@ventumracing.com. Good luck. And one last thing too.
Here's a small hint. It wasn't George.
Hey, one
George
last.
Is like, George, hang on. George is like, why is my name on this? Why is my name in this question? I'm a classics writer.
Hey, and another bonus for our listeners. Thank you for taking in the Vuelta with us. But 20% off through tomorrow, through Monday evening, on our entire store. So if you go to wedo.team, we're taking 20% off. The code word you need to use is GC Kuss. All right, GC Kuss. Wow. One word, GCKUSS. Use that code word and you'll get 20% off in our store through tomorrow evening.
Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys and chat with y'all from Mallorca in about a week.